So there's three companies that you could buy right now that could potentially make you millions and millions of dollars in 2025. We have tech, we have AI, we have finance, we have all these companies in the hot sectors right now that are totally exploding in their growth. And these three companies that I'm going to outline for you are the cream of the crop of those sectors right there. All right, so no beating around the bush. Stock number three is going to be Meta. And remember, we're going to go through three envelopes right here of three different companies, and I love all of them. But my least favorite of the favorites is going to be Meta. And stock number one, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you guys haven't even heard of this stock before. It's not like I'm going to give you NVIDIA here or anything like that. All right, so let's jump over to the Meta chart. And at first glance, you're going to be like, man, I wish I would have bought Meta down here when it was 88 bucks per share because right now it's 718 bucks. And by the way, this is a 5-year chart. So here's the thing. Yes, we all should have bought more Meta down here. But is it too late to buy Meta at 718 right now? The answer is going to be no. And most people just looking at this chart, it's like, dude, you're almost at an all-time high. Why would you want to buy this stock right now? And it's because the stock is still cheap. So we're going to use this card here to evaluate if we really like these companies or not. And the valuation thing that we were just talking about on this chart, we're going to come back to that in 1 second, because I'm going to show you that even after we made this big pump, this big move, the valuation is still cheap on Meta. So number one, does Meta have a moat? And a moat is really just any competition that could come in and wipe their business out. Who is the competition for Meta? They have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have WhatsApp. They have the best ad platform in the entire world if people want to go advertise and get an audience. Yes, we could say that TikTok is there, but TikTok is nowhere near as big as Meta, as big as Meta's reach. So Meta does have a moat. Now, what about pricing power? Well, pricing power is a little bit more questionable on them, and they make the most of the money from their ad revenue. So it's like if Meta wants to raise their prices, are advertisers still willing to pay? The answer is yes. Now, let's go back to the valuation thing super quick and look at this other chart here, because it's going to show you that Meta actually isn't as bad as what you think. So this is going to show you the earnings per share growth of Meta since Q1 of 2025. So as you guys know by following this channel, we'll come back to that in a second. As you guys know by following this channel, the number one thing that moves the price of a stock in the long run is what the earnings per share does. That's it. It's very simple. It's what the profits of the companies do. So if the profits of Meta are absolutely exploding, we would expect the stock to explode too. So Q4 of 2022, they were earning $1.76 per share, but now at Q1 of 2025, they're at $6.43 per share. So going from $1.76 to $6.43 is humongous. And you could see this low that was established November 3rd of 2022 of 86 bucks a share. That coincided almost perfectly with when Meta started reporting very good earnings per share growth. When the earnings per share growth went up, the stock went up. And then go back and look at this little dip right here. Meta stock dipped, but also take a look at what the earnings did in that same time period. The earnings went down, the stock went down, and then it went back up. And this is just it on the side right here. It's easier to correlate it. Share price went up a little bit. Earnings were kind of flat right here. Share price went down because earnings went down, and then earnings picked up. So the share price went up. So here's the thing that not many people are really talking about with Meta. And it's this idea that they're building out a massive AI data center right now. So what happens when they stop spending so much money on their AI data center build out? Where's that money going to go? Where's that profit going to go? It's going to go to the bottom line as earnings per share. And for 2025, Meta guided that roughly 40% of their total revenue, 40% of their revenue is going to go towards AI data center build out. So once this AI data center gets built out and they stop spending so much money on it and they start reaping the rewards of the profits from the AI stuff and making their ads more efficient, I feel like the earnings per share is going to continue to go higher and higher and higher. And right now, Meta's price earnings ratio, which is one of the best single metrics to value a company, it is below 30 right now, so it is still cheap. So I love Meta. It's number 3 on my list. Let's go into number 2. I don't really want to delay any longer. Let's go. Okay, number 2, AMD, which is a big one. And I've been holding AMD since the April 8th low where the market went way down. So let's hop over to the chart, 5-year chart here, and let's take a peek at what's going on. So April 9th, April 8th, whatever it was, this is when the market dipped on Trump's tariff stuff. AMD went down to $78 per share. It's now at $137 per share. So again, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, is it too late to buy AMD? The answer is no, and it's because of similar reasons to Meta. Let's take a look at what the earnings did versus what the stock did. And on top of that, we really have to look at what the revenue is doing. Because if we go back to Q1 of 2021, for example, they earned $3.4 billion. So Q1 of 2021, $3.4 billion. But if we go to right now, Q1 of 2025, it's $7.4 billion. So from 3.45 to 7.4, it's almost a double of revenue, which I mean, that's massive. Now, there's a big ramp up in earnings per share right here. Then earnings per share drops off and it's very volatile, kind of going up, kind of going down. And you can see that's why the stock is bouncing up and down so much too. So here's the deal, and this is the key reason why AMD did not hit the number one spot. And it's because AMD is very, very cyclical. So, what cyclical means is essentially this: it goes through boom and bust cycles, but the boom and bust cycle is typically led by earnings going into a boom and then earnings going into a bust, boom, bust, boom, bust. So that's why companies like AMD are a little bit more risky because, again, they're so cyclical. It's hard to know when this pump cycle is going to end and when this demand for AI data center build out is going to slow down, which, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to slow down for many, many years. And I think that NVIDIA is going to benefit a lot from this too. But fundamentally speaking, AMD on a price earnings ratio basis is trading below a PE ratio level of 40, which is a little bit high for any company. But the amount of growth that this company is doing year over year over year, on an earnings per share standpoint, yes, it's a little bit bumpy. But on a revenue standpoint, it's clear the trend is up. And they're also ramping new chips for the new data center build out coming up into 2025 and 2026. And that's going to be a direct competitor for NVIDIA, and they're kind of closing that gap. So, yes, NVIDIA is the best right now by far. They have CUDA, they have the best chips, they have the best compute power. But AMD is coming, and AMD is coming fast. They're fundamentally a little bit cheaper. They have a moat, they have pricing power, they have a durable competitive advantage, and I'm okay to hold them for the long run. So it meets everything on this list right here. So now let's go into number one. So number one is going to be TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor. And before you click off this video, let me explain my thesis behind this because you might not really be thinking about what I'm thinking here. And I just want you to make a more logical decision if you buy TSM or not. So looking at the chart on a 5-year chart again, stock went up a little bit, took this dip, went up, took the dip for tariffs right here, and now it's back to all-time highs. But if we look at what's going on with the revenue of TSM, I mean, revenue and earnings per share, it almost perfectly correlates on the earnings per share with what the stock actually does. So that's why I preach to you guys so many times that whatever the earnings do, that's what the stock is typically going to do. And TSM is cyclical in nature, just like AMD and NVIDIA are also. But here's the benefit of TSM, and this is why it's the number one spot. And this is why NVIDIA and AMD did not get the number one spot. NVIDIA is not even on this top 3 list. And it's really just because of valuation stuff for NVIDIA. It's a little bit more expensive. So the good thing about TSM is that they have a humongous moat. What I mean by that is over 90% of the chips that get built for AI data centers, TSM is a company that actually builds them. AMD does not build their chips. NVIDIA does not build their chips. Those two companies are essentially like the architects that say, hey, we're going to design this chip. We're going to send you the blueprints to TSM, and TSM is going to build it for us. So TSM is a company that makes them, and there's really no other company in the game that could do what TSM does. So that's why TSM pretty much rules the world when it comes to AI data center build out because they build all of these chips. So let's just run through this hypothetical real quick, and then I'll give you the big bad thing about TSM that a lot of people are worried about because it really could crash the stock. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll cover that in one more minute. Stick with me here for a second. The reason why TSM is better than AMD and NVIDIA, in my opinion, is because this is a little bit more diversified. So hear me out. Let's just say that AMD comes out with some chip that is the best chip in the world. It totally squashes NVIDIA and NVIDIA just falls off the place. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, the company that's still going to benefit is TSM because TSM is always going to build these chips. So TSM doesn't really have to worry about, hey, I have to make the best blueprint for this chip because they're just in charge of building the blueprint specs. So whether AMD wins or NVIDIA wins, it doesn't really matter because TSM is going to win either way, which I think that AMD and NVIDIA are both going to do good. But the benefit is that TSM is going to win either way, like I just said. Now, the bad thing about TSM is that people are worried that China is going to invade Taiwan, and that's where the majority of the AI chips are built in Taiwan. Now, here's my thesis on this. I could be completely wrong. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I do not think that China is going to invade Taiwan. I think it's a low chance, but if it does happen, yes, the stock is going to fall. AMD is going to fall. NVIDIA is going to fall. The whole chip sector is going to fall like a rock. But I just don't see that happening. So if it does happen, yes, the stock's going to fall. It's going to be very bouncy. It's going to be very volatile. But based on how we build our portfolios, we always have our ratios in check. So as things get a little bit more expensive, we do a little bit of de-risking. And as things get cheap, we add risk. So as the overall market is a little bit expensive right now, we do a little bit of de-risking. So for example, like in an expensive market, if China were to invade Taiwan, TSM stock will fall harder in a more expensive market versus if that happened when the market was cheap, because the market has more high expectations priced into it right now. And if you price out those high expectations because China invades Taiwan, the market's going to fall quite a bit. TSM is going to fall quite a bit too. So again, my ratios are in check. The market's a little bit expensive. I love these 3 companies. I personally hold a bunch of shares of all these companies. I have some options on these companies too. And if you want to learn how to do stock options, watch this video right here. It's going to really help you guys out a lot. Watch it start to finish. If you don't have 15 minutes, don't watch it. But if you want to get in my course and my Discord 100% for free, click link below. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'll see you guys there. Sorry to talk so fast at the end here, but I got to go. See ya.